Jeff with EXE here, and today I'm going to show you guys how to install our new Toyota 4Runner powered accessory mount. Alright, so step one, we're going to take our left and right side mounts and we're going to tape them on the side of the radio bezel, and you'll be able to see once you get up to the radio bezel. We're going to line them up so they both look symmetrical from left to right, tape them in place and mark our holes for drilling. Alright, here we go, step one. So you'll be able to tell which side goes to which. This will be the right side. If you place it up there, you can see it follows the curve of the dash pretty well, and you'll be able to basically line it up where it needs to go pretty easily. So I'm going to grab some tape. Just like that. On the right side, a little more tricky. This side has a lot more room on the radio bezel. So basically what you're going to do, you're going to place it up here and you're going to line it up so that it's symmetrical with the right side. Basically, you know, symmetrical meaning equally as flush. You can see this edge where it's pretty much flush, or maybe even sticking out just a little more than the edge of radio bezel. You want it to look the same on this side, so when you drill your holes, that everything lines up the same on both sides. You have a little room for error in here. It's pretty forgiving, but this will basically get your holes in the right area. When you drill this thing, and if you have to, add a second piece of tape if it's having a problem staying in one spot. But for the most part, it holds pretty well, and I use the blue painter's tape most of the time. And one thing you notice, these brackets, the radio bezel will curve a little bit. Not to worry, our brackets are straight. When you drill the holes and when you tighten everything up, they're going to conform to the side of the radio bezel. This gets sandwiching the plastic and adding strength, and we can talk more about that later. But we're now ready to mark our holes. And you can either use a marker or a scribe for this. There we go. Holes are marked. They look pretty good from left to right. And we're going to go ahead. The next step will be removing all this fun plastic off the dash of this 4Runner. And I'll show you a little bit about how to do that. It's really not that bad once you figure it out. And the first step of removing all this, we're gonna remove these two side panels for your temp control for your air conditioning heating. And they're pretty easy to remove. You're basically gonna give them a firm pull on the bottom, and that allows them to just pull off. You have to overcome these clips in here. There you go. and you can see the yellow clips. White clips basically holds everything in. There you go, no broken pieces, everything came out nice. Your next step, you're going to pull this radio control panel or air conditioning control panel out. Now these are normally a little tougher. This one's been out a couple times, so it's easier. Same thing, you're overcoming the plastic clips. You just give it a firm pull, try to distribute the pulling power evenly so you're not snapping anything off, but you give it a pull. And this whole module will come out. And we're not going to really disconnect anything, we're just going to let it hang, because that's really as far as we need to go this way. And this also makes it a lot easier because we're going to tap into your cigarette lighter plug for your USB power wire. And that makes it a lot easier to get to the back side of that to disconnect it. Next step, we're going to go ahead, you have 4 bolts that hold your radio mount to your dash. We're going to pull those out and we're going to remove this module. After you have the bolts out, it's pretty easy to remove this thing. As you can see, it's already kind of loose. So you basically just pull on the bottom, and there's plastic clips at the top, and they'll pop out just like that. At this point, we are going to want to disconnect the wires for the radio because we need to take this module to the bench to drill our holes, install the mount. It's a lot easier to do it on a bench. You can either take a picture of your radio cables or just take a mental note. I mean, they'll all pretty much go back in the same spot. They're almost dummy proof, almost. And there we go. One radio module or bezel removed. And we'll go ahead and take this to the bench and install our mount. So at this time we're going to go ahead and drill our holes for the side mounts. Left and right, 4 holes. You've already marked them. It's helpful to center punch your holes and use a pilot drill, smaller drill bit, and then step up to a 1/4 inch. That's the size we use for the final holes. We've already done all that, so we're just going to go ahead and drill the holes. Your holes are drilled. We're going to go ahead and loosely install your side mounts, and they use 1/2 inch 8/32 screws. Washers on the back side with nylock nuts. and we can go ahead and tighten these down. Here's that. Side brackets are installed and ready to go. And we're going to go ahead and loosely install this and mark our 2 holes here and here for the center support. And these side panels get 10-32 screws. There we go, those are now loosely installed, and we're going to go ahead and mark our holes for the center support using a marker or a scribe. And go ahead and pull it back off so we can drill our holes. And once again, we're using a 1/4 inch drill bit. Also at this time, you're going to want to go ahead and drill a hole or cut a notch for your wiring pass-through for the USB. The previous owner of this vehicle has already done that. They've installed a CB radio, so they've already notched it out. But basically, you're just going to want to make sure it's far enough back so you clear the mount and it's big enough to pass the wires through. So say 3/8 should be big enough. As you can see, definitely not as big as that notch. And now we'll go ahead and install our mount back on, and I'll show you guys what to do. You have to leave the side, just 2 side screws in loose, but not the center. You can tighten the center all the way, the side just in hand tight until we install it back in the vehicle. And the center gets 2 8/32, 3/4 inch long screws, washers, and nylock nuts. And remember, these side screws just get put in loosely until you get it installed all the way. Center ones get tight. There you go, it's ready to install, and before we do that, we need to run our wires for the USB and we'll be good to go. So let's move on to that. And then we're going to go ahead and pull a connector off the back of the cigarette lighter and tap into the wires there using a couple supplied posi taps. gonna go ahead and loosen this up, make it a little easier to get to. There we go, there's our wires. In this case, on this installation, green is positive and white and black is negative. And we're going to go ahead and use these positive taps and connect them on up. And we'll go ahead and hook the connector back up after you route the wires back underneath this panel. We don't want them getting in the way. Go ahead. Reassemble everything we took apart. All right, let's go ahead and grab our radio bezel. We're ready to install the whole assembly. First things first, reconnect all our radio wires. Route your wires towards the notch. We might as well go ahead and hook up our positive and negative for the USB at this time. Snap back in place. Reinstall our bolts. And tighten up our side screws. Now we go ahead and put all of our dashboard back together. back opposite of how you take them apart. Slide the bottom part in and pop it in. There we go. Check the power one more time on your USB. Make sure you have a good connection and you didn't disturb anything. Perfect. Nice and solid USB power and plenty of room for your gadgets.